One day, I'm at my place and I have some friends over and we're hanging out in the living room. And I look out my window and I see Jane walking down the street right in front of my place, and she's going to the end of the block. And I know exactly where she's going. And I immediately, just my entire spirit leaves. I just lose any sense of wanting to hang out, or whatsoever. But I kick everybody out and I head over to Rob's house. So, who was Rob? Rob was a guy who lived, like I said, at the end of our block, right across the street from the university, right? So I had to pass this guy's house every day, sometimes twice, 2 or 3 times, 4 times a day on my way to campus from my house. But one night, we were all hanging out. We were with another couple, and we end up at this guy, Rob's house. And at some point, the other couple leaves, and it's just the 3 of us. And Jane and I had kind of decided that we would like to have a threesome with this guy. And it didn't end up happening. I forget what exactly kind of went wrong, and then I was like, okay, let's just leave. So we left, but I was attracted to Rob, I'll be honest. And Jane knew that I was bi. That's why we proposed. That's why we decided the threesome, and she was down, right? And I was obviously down. That was the one thing we never did, actually. We never had a threesome. But anyway, Rob had this really cool little apartment with these really cool lights. He had a dog, cool little bachelor pad. And anyway, that's that. So Jane had told me that the night that she had told me about in question, she was actually swiping on Tinder, like as she said, sitting on the toilet, when she matches with him, goes over to his house, and they spend the rest of the day together doing what they did. Like I told you, she told me. And regardless of the fact, why are you on Tinder when you are in a 3-year relationship? And at one point she did say that, like, this was planned, that she needed to hurt me to get away from me. I don't know if I disagree with that statement, actually. So anyway, I see her walk by, kick everybody out, and then I'm like, okay, bet. So I walk over, and in my head I'm thinking, I literally don't even know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. In my head, I'm just thinking, I'm gonna make this bitch look stupid. I'll make these 2 pendejos look stupid, right? So I get up to the door, I take a deep breath, and I throw the door open. And I'm thinking I'm about to catch them in bed, right? No, not the case. There was a different transaction taking place. And she wasn't even like dressed cute or nothing. Like they were like, I don't know. She kind of had like they were like sunbathing. She had been sunbathing before she went over there. Yeah, like, like loungewear, right? And I'll never forget, like, she gets this, like, her eyes just pop open when she sees me throw open the door. I don't even remember what I said. I said something, and then me and Rob start arguing, and Jane is literally sitting there, like, with her eyes wide open, frozen. At some point, the dog runs out the door. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, I don't want the dog to get hurt. I'm just going to get out of here. And I do remember the last thing and I was already on my way, but he was like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. It is also worth mentioning. That Rob was about like 5 or 6 inches taller than Jane. So a lot shorter than me. And in Jane's words, well, I'll tell you what Jane said. So I get out of there. I'm pissed off. I leave. I did what I set out to do. I get back home and I get a Facebook message from Jane. And she said, hey, she said, so we weren't going to do what you thought we were going to do. I went over there for a different transaction. And she was very apologetic, very, very apologetic, very like not even in any way blaming me for coming over and throwing the door open. And I don't remember when we met up to talk about it. It was not that soon after, but at some point we met up. And she told me that when I threw the door open and she like saw me, like she was absolutely shocked. She was absolutely shocked. And then she said that the scene of me towering over this guy, yelling at him, like she just felt like helpless, but she also wanted to laugh at the same. And I'm just being brutally honest, telling me what she told me. And I will say this: I actually did feel bad for Rob, because when we had originally gone over there for the threesome that didn't happen, I guess that he assumed I was her gay friend, as a lot of people did. And then he in no way knew that she was in a relationship. So he actually felt really bad and he did not want to be involved. And I kind of feel bad for him as well, because he didn't deserve that. He got wrapped up in a situation that he shouldn't have been wrapped into. So sorry, Rob. Apologies. Hope you'll accept it. But again, shooting him. So, you know. So anyway, that's that. And on to the start of my senior year.